And welcome everyone. It's Off the Page, the comic podcast for the CBC channel. You can Google us at CBC or Comic Cast 2. You will find us everywhere. You want to find us everywhere or anywhere. You can find us on Twitter at Mitch692 and Halftime Joe. And I have to apologize. This is a day late. We kind of both forgot on Friday.
Nah, we're also busy.
Well, you were busy. I forgot.
Yeah. We both forgot stuff. Don't let me out of this one. I forgot too, as well as being busy.
Well, that's why I said we both forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot, to be honest. You were busy. I kind of wasn't. I was just chilling. Probably why I forgot. But yeah,
I forget a lot of things.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Then he has the audacity to say I forget stuff. But anyway, jumping right into everything, we have our first bit of news, and that is Marvel have announced Thanos' legacy. It is the return of Donny Cates, and I think it's Jeff Shaw. Is Jeff Shaw back on this one? I think, isn't he?
No, it says Jerry Duggan.
No, Jerry Duggan is a writer.
Brian Level.
I almost called you mother then. That was really bad.
Brian Level.
I'm certain. Oh yeah, Brian Level. Yeah, all right. It's Donny Cates and Brian Level. This, I believe it's a one shot. I don't think they said otherwise.
It sounds like it's a one shot, but
it
could be a 4-issue miniseries.
Yeah, they don't specifically state. To be fair, they do say Donny is cooking up a 20-page story, so I'm going to take that as this is just a one shot.
Yeah.
The sole purpose of this is to tie in Thanos wins to Infinity Countdown, which I don't know how you can make Infinity Countdown better, but they found a way. So.
Oh, it said, well, okay, at the beginning, it says, on the top, it says a one-shot detailing that what happened to the Mad Titan following the Thanos win story, but at the same time, they say that Donnie, of course, as you said, is writing a 20-page story, but Duggan is writing a story about the connection between Thanos and Requiem, so it's like,
yeah.
Is it 20 pages, and it's 40 pages overall, one shot?
I don't know. They're not really clear on it, to be honest. Happens to the Mad Titan following Cates' Thanos win story arc, along with the villain's connection to Requiem, a mysterious new character playing a role in Infinity Wars. 20-page story that answers. It does say while Jerry Duggan is writing a story about the connection between Thanos. It doesn't say anything else. Both shine new lights on the villain of Infinity Wars and how the story comes from what came before. So yeah, it's tying into Thanos Wins, or Thanos Wins is tying into this. Basically, so if you haven't read Thanos Wins and you're looking to sort your life out, go read it. But yeah, Kate's back on Thanos is only a good thing. There's no way anyone can be mad at that, and that cover is dope as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree, and it just looked like everything's just about it sounds like it's gonna be good, and especially since it's like connecting to the Cates run.
It definitely feels like a way. It's like, how can we elevate something slightly? Like, can we get both a bit higher up in the sales charts? It's like, let's combine Thanos Wins,
pretty much,
and Infinity Countdown. Like, why not? They both got Thanos in it. It fits. You know, how did Thanos beat the old Thanos? Maybe this is how. So I imagine this is how.
So I guess they're gonna tell you how they met, but it's also gonna shine some light apparently on the villain, on Requiem, and it's kind of like of how, I guess, not he came to be, or could be she, or how it came to be.
I don't know who it is, because it looks male and it looks female.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, they
are how they came to be, or what came like before it, and kind of like what Requiem was all about. A little bit. It's not. I mean, I guess it's gonna be a little origin-y, but it's that's not even a word. But it's still gonna feel like the sequel of Thanos. You know, Thanos Wins.
Yeah.
I'm confident that they both can handle kind of what this one shot is supposed to be. You know?
Oh yeah. Plus, Cates and Duggan in Cosmic Marvel is just like, what the hell? It's a shame Duggan's finishing his cosmic run in the sandbox with Infinity Wars. I'd like to see him carry it on, because those two in charge of the space stuff is crazy.
I pretty much.
It's very much similar to the old DNA era of the late 2010s
I'm just in
or
love with the
late
cover.
2000s.
I just love Thanos'
The cover's
legacy,
so
and then
cool. It's so cool. All the blood coming from the armchair or the
yeah.
statue. But yeah, if you know, if you like Kate's and you like Thanos, it's a match made in heaven, really.
I don't know if there's too many people who don't like Kate's writing.
The
There might be.
the only people I've seen that didn't like his Thanos run were the people that like, oh, they made Death quirky. It's like, no, they didn't. It's like she wasn't quirky in the slightest. She didn't say a word. No, who cares? But
Yeah.
I can't think of a segue. I'm still in that mindset.
You're in a crisis here, Mitch.
Oh,
Segue game.
speaking of something that's not really a crisis, but it's called a crisis, Tom King is doing Heroes in Crisis.
This is so interesting to me.
Now, just to clarify, this is not a crisis.
No. This is far from like a regular, like a crisis that we all know DC does. This is a small crisis.
Do you know what this feels like to me?
Huh.
Because I assume that's Psycho Pirate's mask, isn't it? That Superman's holding.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, so it's tying back into Tom King's Batman run with that first initial arc and everything.
He's writing it. I'd assume so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this to me feels like Duggan and Guardians, where his Guardians run became Infinity Countdown, Infinity Wars. This is kind of like, I've got a bigger story to tell. Let me slap the big event name on it.
Yeah, I was about to ask you if you felt like there was a Marvel equivalent to this. I don't know if in terms of story, but like I guess in terms of the writing and everything, this might be it. But I'm just interested.
Just the way they've handled it, it very much seems like they've gone like Tom King's like, I've got a big story I want to tell, and they're like, yeah, sure, you can tell it, and he's like, I want just put Crisis on it, it will sell.
I think it's cool that Harley Quinn and Booster Gold are gonna have some main parts in this. I feel like Booster doesn't necessarily get enough love.
Why is Harley even there?
Marketing?
Because it's called Heroes in Crisis. She's not a hero.
Yeah, that's a little weird part, but I mean, yeah. But so, do you know like a little bit of the story?
I know it's a murder mystery thing.
Which reminds me of what's it? Is it Infinite Crisis? No, what's it called? Not Infinite Crisis. What am I thinking? The 2006 story.
Identity Crisis.
That's what it was. Yeah, I was because I can't remember exactly the one where Elongated Man's wife get killed and they have to figure out who did.
I imagine it's probably
similar but different.
This decade's version of that. Yeah. It's very much. It sounds very Tom Kingy. Oh, we're gonna do a murder mystery. We're gonna dive right into the psyche of the Justice League.
That's up my wheelhouse. Like this reminds me like a longer one shot of that Batman and Swamp Thing one shot.
Yeah.
I also think Tom King did a one shot for Superman, if I remember correctly. Not the Man of Steel or Action Comics 1000, something else. But he says something. Where was it? I read it and I thought it was amazing. Or here it is. It's like Tom King talking about it, whatever. He says, "This is a new kind of crisis facing the heroes of the DC universe. How does a superhero handle PTSD?" Like, I don't know. Like that's just kind of like. I don't think they ever really talk about that because they're heroes. It's like I feel like too many times they don't.
See, to me, that's very much a Marvel concept.
Yeah.
Whereas DC is the big grand. We are the gods. We are infallible. We can do no wrong. We you do obviously have your trials and tribulations, but like the Marvel side is more in the head. Also, like who are these people and all that.
I love this.
Also, if you want to know about that, watch Iron Man 3. That's the exact concept of that movie.
Well, I mean, I assume they've done it before in comics and TV shows and movies, but it's just not done a lot. And that might be because if it's done too much, it loses its touch and whatever. And it's, every time you see it, it's always good, I would say. Like, I liked Iron Man 3. I thought that was a good story about PTSD for Iron Man. I think it's going to be a good one, but I love this concept he's making of the Sanctuary, it's your secret hospital to superheroes who have been traumatized by crime fighting and cosmic combat.
It's a very interesting direction for the DC.
You don't think about it too much, right? Like they mentioned it in I forget which comic. It might have been No Justice or something, or something else, where they mentioned that Raven was kind of going to be the healer for some of the heroes when they can't be in certain, like they can't go to a regular hospital. But I like this idea that there is this straight up hospital that maybe Bruce Wayne is paying off, and like heroes go there to get healed and stuff like that. Like it reminds me like to Artemis in a way, because that's the movie that came out where criminals go in there and like it's a secret like hospital and stuff like that. It's so interesting. Like,
I have no idea about that movie. So
the trailer was so interesting to me, even though apparently it bombed. But it goes to say that something goes inexplicably wrong when many patients wind up dead, with two well-known operators as the prime suspects, Harley Quinn and Booster Gold. It's up to the DC Trinity to investigate, but can they get the job done in the face of overwhelming opposition? Like,
so to me, that says Booster Gold and Harley Quinn run this place. That's a really odd choice to me.
A little weird, yeah, I'd agree.
It's like, why? Who in their right mind put fucking Harley Quinn in charge?
Or Booster Gold, who's just kind of like not too serious at all. He's a lot of jokey.
I can kind of understand Booster Gold. At least he's a hero.
Yeah, he's from the future.
At least he is a hero as well. Harley Quinn's like, you have to be fucking lunatic to think that's a good idea to put her in charge. It was probably Batman.
So there's a fact sheet apparently that attached to this, and Tom King talks about it. I love when you like some of these writers go super detailed about stuff, like even though something that shouldn't be, but they go super detailed. Apparently, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman built the sanctuary 5 years ago so that the new generation of superheroes would be helped coping the violence they see daily. So like the new heroes that spawn up that are teens and stuff like that. It's a small, rustic Nebraska ranch to the outside observer, but it's actually a state-of-the-art facility built using Kryptonian technology.
I saw something where there's like Kryptonian technology, there's something Amazonian, and then Bruce Wayne's money.
Which makes,
that was the three things I saw, and I was like, makes sense.
Oh, it's gonna be like, so apparently somebody might have been a snitch, because how did the villains know about it in the first place? How did they get there?
Yeah.
There's a snitch. Reminds me of My Hero Academia for some reason.
I mean, there's literally a snitch in that. We just don't know it.
Yeah.
But it does say here, among the three founders, Batman considers Sanctuary a necessity, while Wonder Woman considers it a kindness, and Superman thinks it's an example of doing good. Lastly, and perhaps more importantly, is that when the event kicks off, everyone in Sanctuary will be dead.
It almost is. It's like not an unintentional, but it's almost like you said, a sequel similar to what Duggan was doing, but it's not at the same time, because I think he's still going to be doing regular Batman. This is just something else that kind of is like spinning off what he had in, because that looks like Psycho Pirate's mask. You're right.
I was going to say, because didn't the Psycho Pirate mask thing go nowhere?
It had something.
The arc
kept it.
just kind of ended, and then it's like, here's this little plot thread, and then here's the mask in the back.
Remember with Scott Snyder and Dark Knight's Meadow, and it had a lot to do with the owl, the Court of Owls, and that was like something he teased in his Batman. Yeah. Why do Batman writers always have to tease something big? It's never a Superman writer; it's always a Batman writer.
I think that's just kind of comics in general, isn't it? Like, there's always that little bit, and then it grows.
Yeah, but you don't see too many of the Superman stuff, which I guess just goes to show they put the bigger writers on Batman, like Tom King and Scott.
I suppose, can you really do something like this with a Superman?
I mean, I feel like you could.
Like, you possibly could, but I think it'd be kind of hard. Just considering what and who Superman is.
Yeah, I really like the cover for Heroes in Crisis. I think that's like...
It's a really nice cover.
It's initially what got me. Like, Tom King, of course, is going to be good, but that cover really got me. I was like, man, this is...
And, like, for everyone that doesn't like Tom King's Batman, which is a lot of people...
it's kind of and there and then.
It's a strange one. You look at the sales and they go up and they go down and they go up and they go down and they go up.
He's a weird like kind of writer.
Yeah, but this is Tom King's wheelhouse. It's a 7-issue series about the psychosis of people.
I think if you've read all of Tom King's Batman, you've seen the various kind of one-shots or 2-issue span of his great writing and how he gets into them, to the head of these characters. And it's weird how he can only do it in other 1 issues or 2 issues and not necessarily 5 issues. Such a weird thing.
He's kind of not like a long-term writer. He's a perfect example for your idea of switching out writers every so often.
Yeah,
Like give him 12 issues and let him juggle.
yeah, it's so weird of how like he's a writer that's so perfect for a small, condensed story, but when you put it out like the whole Batman wedding thing, it's like it's kind of dragging in some places. Which I don't know. It's such a weird, like, this is a theme. I'm sure there are other writers like this. I guess like Bendis is another one that does this, where he's better condensed than he is long haul.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well, Bendis is a strange one because I don't know how he's like with a miniseries. Like even like Civil War 2, he kind of shut the ending.
This is weird. Apparently, the book becomes bi-monthly 2 issues in.
Oh God.
No. Okay, wait, never mind. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It says.
Well, hold on. Define bi-monthly. Are we doing every other month or twice a month?
Here's it says. I'm looking at Bleeding Cool real quick, and they have like this thing. Just go great into okay.
Who wrote? Did it Rich Johnson write the article?
No, okay, never mind. This is just a. It's not. This is just a Bleeding Cool kind of checklisting of like, you know how like there's an E3 checklist.
Oh, the piss take,
yeah. Never mind. I thought it was like legit. I was like, this is like you follow along Heroes in Crisis.
It's.
I mean, I think it's gonna be really good.
I mean, it's gonna be good, but
when does it come out?
What happened to DC not doing events consistently?
This is a weird one because it's not an event, but it is one. This
is 100% an event.
It's weird. I mean, would you call Infinity Wars an event? I don't know if I would. You said it was a sequel.
Infinity Wars is an event.
Oh, I thought it was a sequel.
It's got tie-ins.
Well.
I'm sure this doesn't have tie-ins. Actually, I don't know if this. I bet this will. They haven't said it has.
I like how
I bet you it will.
Both of the big two can lie to us and say no more events, and they just come out with more events, and we just.
I mean, DC never said that. To be fair.
Oh.
Marvel's been cheeky about it. They go, oh, no more big like crossover events. They haven't actually done a massive crossover event since, but they've been pumping out little ones.
Heroes in Crisis 7-issue miniseries. Issue 1 hits stores September 26th. Interesting to note that the other one we talked about, what was the first one we talked about? Of the Thanos Legacy, September 5th. Everything coming out September.
I say all this stuff is September because the solicitors coming out again. So
I'm down for it. I really dig Clayman's art, and that's how you say his name.
I say Clayman. I'd imagine.
Clayman. It's Clayman. Sounds better actually. So, yeah, I'm down with this, and I can't wait to see what happens because I'm glad they're featuring Booster Gold, I enjoy that character a lot. He seems a little bit more serious here, so we'll see how it goes. He's usually more jokey.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tom King writing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. That came out of nowhere.
Maybe we'll get down to the psychosis of Booster Gold.
Yeah. But after that little shock to the system with that yawn I just had, Carl Baker has shared an early look at the Earth M reboot with, of course, Static Shock.
It looks like out of the 80s or 70s.
The art's kind of garbage, but whatever.
I mean, but that just looks like it's super old art. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like
he didn't
even make it. It looks like he got a picture from Google Image of, like, the 60s Static, and this is what happened, but I think that's the point of it. I think they were trying to make it look like older style, like this is on purpose.
Well, so don't get too excited because it'll still never come out.
Yeah, it's apparently it was announced, like it was formally announced October last year near Comic-Con. It was kind of like wink wink announced like months before that, or even half a year before that. So I still think I don't think there's so. It was originally scheduled to launch this spring, but has been delayed to an unspecific date. However, this I guess tease may signal to the debut not being that far off, which makes sense, I guess. But at the same time, felt like it was supposed to come out this spring. Where is it?
Well, delayed comics, they strike again.
Delayed comics. Hashtag delayed comics.
You know, when you're when you've got so many imprints and reboots going on, it's kind of they obviously haven't got an editor or a chief editor that can keep everything on track. But then again, neither the big two do really. But
yeah, so
what can you do?
It looks nice. I mean, I love the homage to the previous incarnations, but I don't know if it's something I'm still excited for because like it's just been a little delayed so long, and it's honestly just I keep forgetting about it.
I find it very hard to actually care to like even muster up the tiniest amount of caring when there's no release date. They don't even say anything with this image. No, what is it? What's it for? When's the reboot coming?
Yeah.
Like you got Black Lightning walking around. He's going to be in the Outsiders clearly. So where's the one that people actually wanted?
Yeah.
But
there's not too much about it.
No, we have a really interesting piece of news because obviously, as everyone knows by now, Jeff Johns has stepped down from being the DC Entertainment CCO to having Jim Lee take up that position. And not only is Jeff Johns doing the movies, he's obviously writing and producing the Green Lantern movie, he's producing the Wonder Woman movie. We have a kind of really sly announcement that he's doing more comics. And of course, he gets his own DC imprint because everyone at DC gets an imprint now. And of course, he has Shazam and the Three Jokers coming in September, I think it says.
I'm right here. Yeah, new series coming in fall of 2018. Not sure if it's September. It could be October.
It'll be September. Yeah,
because if the solicits come out for September, I don't know if they're out per se, but if they are on there,
the solicits for September will be out like the 20th of this month.
Yeah, then if it's on there, then
Like, I don't see why they'd announce it if it was October. To be honest, like, why would you not just wait until like a month? But
well, what's the difference between September and October? It's like September is 3 months out, October is just another month.
Well, yeah, but why would you announce it before the solicitations come out?
It's in a weird way where they're not necessarily they're announcing it, but at the same time, I don't know. It's a little weird, but it's like it's not even that farther out. Like October is just a month after. It could have been. It makes sense to be in September, but it could still be October. Who knows?
Yeah, he's had plenty of time to write other things between Doomsday Clock stories.
I see. So
since Fabric is taking his time.
So I'm on Jeff Johns' website watch, and he still hasn't changed it. This is something I'm going to keep up with in terms of his website, if it's been updated and kind of like fixed by an actual person who knows how to do websites. Because telling you, this looks like he either paid his nephew, who's 10 years old, or he looked it up on YouTube.
I think he's looked up on YouTube.
I think so too, which is the best part because we made the joke of like he's doing everything by himself, even his own website.
The problem is he's looked at a video that's like 10 years old. And it's like, oh, you only need this size images. And it's like, no, John. No, Jeff. You need big images.
Which is weird because like he can make a better website if you just went to like Squarespace or something like that have like pre-made stuff for you.
I mean, all he needs is just higher quality images.
Even then it's like
at least then it would look better. I'm not saying it would be great, but he'll at least have like modern day image quality.
It's super funny.
10 years ago.
I don't know why, but yeah, he said he's doing Shazam. Doomsday Clock is still doing Three Jokers with Jason Fabak. Actually, it's hard to be interested in that because it's been so long. It's been like whenever Darkseid Wars stopped, which was maybe 2015, maybe.
I think Darkseid Wars 2015, 2016.
Yeah, I think it's 2015. Could have been 2016. I think it's been 3 years since Rebirth. So weird. I remember we kind of started off the show with Rebirth.
We haven't been 2 yet.
Yeah.
Rebirth was 2016, wasn't it?
I thought it was 2015. Damn. Let me check.
Rebirth.
See, Rebirth. 2016. Wow. Why did I think it was 2015?
I don't know.
Let's see. Darkseid Wars. Let me see when it last ended. Curious. Because I'm pretty sure it ended right before that. 2016. I had no idea why I thought it was 2015.
Probably because it started in 2015.
Maybe.
Because didn't they finish Darkseid War and then jump straight into Rebirth?
So yeah, something like around there.
Yeah, I think Darkseid War finished in May of 2016, and then Rebirth came out in June.
So for the Three Jokers, it says on the website, Jeff Johns' website, madghost.com. Yeah, it's not even Mad Ghost Productions, it's just madghost.com.
Is that why I can never fucking find the website?
Yeah, because you always just look up. I always thought it was Mad Ghost Productions.
Come on, sort yourself out.
This is funny. I'm curious as to what the Mad Ghost is about. I want him to tell us, like, where'd you come up with Mad Ghost? Did you just put up 2 different words, like, in Google?
Because he is dead, and he have to be crazy to be doing
you're right.
So he's a ghost.
Three Jokers is a mystery unlike anything the Dark Knight has faced, one that will shed a new light on the Batman and those closest to him, as everything he's ever believed about the Joker comes into question. I always thought that'd be an interesting story to tell, but like it's been 2 years, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's just like, doesn't that kind of really undermine like Tom King's run?
Nah.
Like, what's Tom King doing there if this is going to change everything?
Well, I mean, maybe that's why he took so long to write it, because Tom King's going to be off of it in like next year.
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, that's not the case.
All right, and then what else is there about like what he's doing? So he's doing that.
Shazam. There's no JLA or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's still no
Justice
Legion,
Society,
no Legion, no JSA. Yeah. A little weird that I mean they're supposed to be. They're in Doomsday
Doomsday Clock. Yeah, but there's no title
Johnny Thunder and Saturn Girl, if I remember correctly, are in the last issue, in the recent issue. So it's a little weird, but at the same time, it might be they're waiting until Doomsday Clock ends, which is gonna take 2 years, I guess.
At least.
So weird.
God, it's gonna be 2020 before we get the end of Rebirth.
Oh, sorry there. I had to cough and I didn't want to do it on mic. I thought Mitch was going to talk.
You were halfway through a sentence, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but I just had to. I had to cough. But see, I was reading the Doomsday Clock one, and I felt like this is so different. I don't know. I don't think I've ever they never really give a description of Doomsday Clock. It's always kind of been like, oh, here's Doomsday Clock by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. It says with the events of the Superman theory have sent the world spiraling into a dangerous. Oh wow! Whoever Jeff, if you're typing this up on your website, you in the middle of a sentence, you have it you pressed enter or something, and it went to a new line.
I wonder how rushed all this stuff at DC was.
He's probably they probably told him, "Hey Jeff, we're gonna announce it this morning." It's like, "Oh man, I gotta hurry up! I wasn't even ready." He just woke up, got his coffee, ready to write Doomsday Clock or something. I'm just joking, Jeff. But while the events of the Superman theory have sent the world spiraling into a dangerous metahuman arms race, Ozymandias, Rorschach, Marionette, and Mime have been split apart on their search for Dr. Manhattan and their quest to save their own world. But nothing is ever what it seems when it comes to Watchmen. Gives a little bit more, I guess, not a lot.
Yeah. I want to ask you something.
Huh.
Right. Does Jim Lee being the chief creative officer worry you?
No, because I feel like Jeff is still going to be in those conversations and in that thing, and I feel
but here's the thing. Jim Lee was in charge of the New 52, so that was his thing.
No, because I feel like they learned a lesson. I think even Jim was self-aware about that and said, we kind of
messed up with the dude responsible for that, is this a good thing that he's back there? Or is it like how it was with the Flashpoint stuff, where Johns didn't want to have that as a reboot, but Jim Lee kind of made it into a reboot, and then it's roles reversed. So Johns is just in charge of everything, but Jim Lee's just the face. I
feel time changes people, and I feel like Jim Lee has changed, and maybe his kind of thought process of certain things, and New 52 in hindsight wasn't the best idea. It did turn off a lot of people. It still sold a bunch of comics. Let's not get it wrong.
I mean, it was wildly successful.
Yeah, but I also think it was perceived as the public as something that they didn't need, because it changed a lot of the characters that didn't need to. And then that's the whole point of Rebirth. Even Jim Lee has come out Rebirth was such a great thing, because it brought these characters back, and it brought people back to these characters with the initial kind of number one relaunches. I don't think so. I think because it's pretty much just Jeff and Jim, because Dan Nelson stepped down. I think Dan DiDio has stepped down at some point.
I don't think DiDio's been there for a while, has he? I
think he has, but he stepped down in terms of role.
Yeah.
Let me look it up, because I know he was the head, one of the head guys, and then he kind of stepped down, and Nessa stepped down, Jeff stepped down, Jim Lee. I feel like it's just Jim and Jeff, and they're just chilling in an office, drinking a beer or something. So what do we do next week? I
mean, it's clearly a last man standing situation. No.
Well, I feel like with DiDio and Nelson, it was different. With Jeff, it was for work, and I have to go help the movies and stuff like that. This other part of DC. I think Dan Nelson is out of DC completely. Might have been from a family problem. Yeah, like a personal problem. But DiDio, I think, is just because he's not that great of an thought process. I don't know. His comics never everything he works on. Like I've never really been interested in. Like he did. He was doing one of the New Age of Hero comics, and I just like I
Yeah.
can't. I wish he did
Oh,
it.
what one was he doing?
I don't remember. Hope it's not Sideways. Cause, probably it is the.
I don't think it was Sideways.
Um.
Or was it Sideways?
He worked. So let me see. He's a writer on. I can't find this. So DC Rebirth miniseries. But some of these say he's like a producer on, like a co-publisher, like that type of stuff. Like
I mean, yeah.
so it's not gonna. What is he written? Dendio written. That's not gonna help. I don't know. I don't remember. But I don't know. I feel like it could be different this time around. I know what Jim did before, and I just feel like it'll be different.
Fair enough.
What else is there for this? I mean, nobody knows about the Killing Zone, which is it's like an old DC logo thing with the blue and the stars. It looks.
Yeah, it's gone back to the old Bullet logo.
Yeah.
So like you got that, and this like some people are asking like, are the imprints in continuity? I think this one is. Because this one is set to focus on like old, lesser known
I love
DC characters, which is Jeff Johns like to a T.
It's basically Jeff Johns because it says you're right. It says the imprint will focus on both new and obscure DC properties. And Jeff Johns' whole thing is like I still remember the quote he said. It's like when people told me Aquaman was lame, I was like, no, he's pretty cool. And then he wrote him cool. And then he wrote him. He's like, oh yeah, Aquaman's pretty cool. Like Jeff is just one of those guys that will make. He finds enjoyment out of writing characters that people think are lame and making people think they're cool, like because of the way he writes them. He's just, it's just one of the guys. Remember for the longest time we were always like, oh man, Jeff should write that one so people can like it more.
Yeah, just quickly, the Dio co-wrote Sideways.
Yeah, see, I didn't. I thought it had something to it, but it was like, there's like something that pushed me. It might have been too kind of like edgy in a way. I don't want to say it in a bad way, but it is. It was maybe too like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's definitely Jeff Johns. Like, what's the I can't think of the term. Was it Magnus Operandi?
Dude, everybody is like getting their own imprint basically. Like all the top writers, because
has Snyder got an imprint?
He probably will, because look, the Killing Zone is from under Jeff Johns. Neil Gaiman is doing the Sandman universe. Young Animals is Gerard Way.
Well, the Sandman stuff's under the Vertigo relaunch.
Yeah, but it's being curated. It's being curated by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, but that's only the Sandman stuff.
Yeah, but isn't because I don't remember. I think we assumed that it was the Sandman stuff was going to be the new Vertigo thing.
No, because they didn't announce last week that they're relaunching Vertigo. We talked.
Yeah. But are we sure it's still in there? Because I remember when we read about it,
it's still in there.
We didn't. We only said it would be in there. I don't think it said it in the thing.
No, certain it's still in there.
Yeah.
You can double check if you want, but I'm certain it's in.
I don't remember talking about like that. It's going to be in the Vertigo. We just asked like, I wonder where it is if it's still coming.
But
Here.
I know Bendis has got 2 imprints. Is Ink and Zoom his? No. What one of the Bendis imprints?
I don't know, but I'm looking at this Vertigo relaunch thing. Line-wide relaunch.
Fine, I'll Google it myself then.
Kicking off DC Vertigo, which is a bunch of this stuff like Border Town and all that. I think the Discord kind of made a joke about that. Shout out to the Discord.
Which one?
About like what you said about the new Vertigo imprint is like, oh, I wonder what that could be about, like Border Town.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Bendis is reviving Jinx World, and what else is he doing?
No, okay, so yeah, it's not. I looked at this article by CBR. It's not in there that the Sandman comics are going to be in the Vertigo relaunch.
Huh.
I'm gonna look up Sandman new game and see what happens. Like, see, because I don't remember them saying there was gonna be a kind of something into it. So here it is.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, to me, it's just smart having Sandman in Vertigo. Why would you not? Relaunch it with that.
So it says right here in this, like, when Neil Gaiman is turning the Sandman to an expanded comic universe, it says it'll be a part of the Vertigo imprint. But then when you look at the Vertigo, like, relaunch, it wasn't in there at all in the article.
That's really strange to me. Why would you not have, like,
Which I'm still
the
excited about
biggest?
these books. The Books of Magic, which is Harry Potter, basically.
But like, why would you not have like the biggest thing in your relaunch? Like the one thing people know.
Yeah, it's so weird. They said it's going to be in Vertigo in March, and then in May, the Vertigo relaunch was not up, like, it didn't have it.
Maybe the intern Jeff hired to do his website is doing all these announcements.
We need some clarification. We need to hit up DC Comics real quick and be like, hey, what is happening with the Sandman kind of thing?
Blocked. That's what happened.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's just interesting. I'm curious as to, because there's so much stuff that is announced. It's like it's hard to keep track of everything. It's like I need my own kind of like cheat sheet of like, all right, so this is coming out, this is coming out. It's so difficult of all this stuff, and I mean, what a time to be alive if you're a comic fan, because there's so many different things. You don't have to read everything, of course, but there's so much that, like, if you don't like this one thing, there's something else, you know, to try out. It's so crazy.
Speaking of crazy, Insomniac's Spider-Man from the PS4 exclusive game is going to be Marvel Comics canon and is going to appear as a debut in Marvel's Spidergeddon #0.
You still don't like the suit, right?
I think it's disgusting.
I've leaned on it.
All it is a cheap rip-off of the final Superior Spider-Man suit.
Ah, yeah, I can see
It's
what you
the
mean.
same logo, it's got the things on the arms, it's got the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes look like they're mechanical.
You know, it's even got the eyes. You look at the image they revealed, it's the Superior eyes. If Superior does not play a part in that game, I'll be surprised.
I'm sure you're gonna have, like, in the game at least, you're gonna be able to switch into different character suits and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. I'm doing that straight away.
Oh yeah.
That's just
I'm
garbage.
curious as to. Oh well, if you pre-order, you'll be able to get like I think the Iron Spider suit and like the Homecoming suit. Remember?
I mean, the Iron Spider suit's horrible as well, so
it's alright.
it's better than this piece of trash. But
So what else about this? Like, when is Spider-Geddon coming now? Edge of Spider-Geddon, I get it.
Spider-Geddon comes out a couple of weeks or a week after the game. Because obviously,
September 7th.
Christos Gage is writing this.
Oh, right here. Spider-Geddon #0 hits September 26th.
Well, there you go. So end of September.
Yeah.
Christos Gage is who's writing this. The Spider-Geddon series was also with Dan Slott and I can't think of the other guys' names who helped write the game. So there's going to be a nice little bit of continuity in there. And Gage has said that the way the game ends leaves him in an interesting place, which makes it more interesting than the story itself of Spider-Geddon. He's going to try not to spoil everything, but it might be an idea to blitz through this game before, if you're going to read Spider-Geddon, just to make sure you don't get spoiled by stuff. But it's interesting because it's nice to see that they're actually canon and they are part of the wider Marvel multiverse. So it's just a shame about the suit.
Yeah, it's just cool. Spider-Geddon's gonna like have everybody. You said this was probably that one. Remember that one? There was a Spider-Geddon cover that there was Black Dad, and you said we're gonna get a new Spider somebody, and this could be him, right?
Oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's who it is. I don't know why I didn't think about this one being there. It's kind of the obvious choice.
Yeah.
It's like, oh look, we have Marvel like their cross promotions.
They really do.
Oh, look, we have a new Spider-Man coming out, and this comes out 2 weeks after. Why not put them together?
Yeah.
Every Spider-Man's in continuity anyway, thanks to Spider-Verse. Add this one. But Spider-Geddon, I believe, is the end of a trilogy, or it's a sequel to Spider-Verse. So we'll no doubt probably get more after this one.
It's one of the Edge of Spider-Geddon #1 and #2. I just we already had the Edge of Spider-Verse. Wasn't that a game, right?
No.
Yeah, wasn't it? Edge of Spider-Verse.
No, Edge of Spider-Verse wasn't a game.
Why did I think it was a game?
There was like Shattered Dimensions. Oh, there wasn't. I think there was an Edge of Spider-Geddon.
Yeah, Spider something. That was probably why Edge of just like That's just a bunch of
Yeah.
things.
But, you've had Edge of is the big multiversal spider event, like
Yeah,
starting issue.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm
It's a
curious about the
prelude.
games. Like, um,
I can't think what they're called.
it's Edge of something. Spider-Man video games are Wikipedia. There was like Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time.
That's the one, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of Spider-Man in these games. Wow.
Spidey likes the Edge.
Yeah.
He must be a big U2 fan.
Edge.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there's not much more to say on that, really. It's cool. I'll be reading it, I'll be playing it, so yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you've got anything
no,
else you
I
want to
think that's
say.
pretty much it. Yeah.
Are you one of these people that think the suit's nice, or
It's,
oh,
yeah.
okay?
It's
So you're wrong, basically.
I mean, I'm not gonna play it as it probably. I want to change to somebody else. I want to change it to the Homecoming suit. I actually really like the
Same.
Amazing Spider-Man suit, like the
Which one, the basketball or the second one?
the second one. I don't like the.
I like it, but it's a bit. If you look back at it, the red's a bit too purpley. It's just like,
Maybe. I like the Garfield one. That's really good. You know what? I
Okay.
still enjoy certain moments of that second movie. I remember when I saw it in theater, and everybody was shocked what happened at the end with Gwen Stacy, and I was just like, I mean, they have the Green Goblin in this, and also it's Gwen Stacy.
They had the Green Goblin in that movie.
Oh yeah, never mind. I don't want to get into that.
But anyway, on to the comics of the week for the 13th of the 6th, 2018.
Yep.
We have a big week. I don't know how long the show's going to go on for. We're already nearly an hour into it.
I'm 40 minutes.
I'm
some of these that I don't necessarily have too much thoughts about. It's just the first one.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be going fast just because of my some of these were just cool, interesting stuff, but other than that, not too much into it. There's just So all right, I'll get into it with the first one, which is going to be talking about Titan Special #1, and this is kind of after No Justice, Dark Knight's Metal, and it's just bringing the Titans a new team of Titans, and it's always the introductory issue of hey, these are the characters, get to know them or where they are after what just happened, and then Nightwing's gonna lead it. It's a weird thing of the Titans when they relaunched with DC Rebirth. It was kind of just these 5 best friends, and they're like, we should be heroes again and kind of team up again and stuff like that. This time around, because of the source wall, energy is being transmitted onto Earth, and people are becoming metahumans. And the point of this Titans team is to track down those metahumans and help them out, or stop them if need be. The Justice League even came to Nightwing and was like, yeah, we're going to need your help because the Justice League is all about this and that. We're too big for this because someone needs to stop a meteor crashing from Earth, but also somebody needs to stop a metahuman who just got her powers jumping off the ledge. And we're busy with the meteor. You have to get the girl who's about to jump off the ledge. So that's a perfect kind of thing about it. One's a smaller, more personal team. One's gonna be the bigger, save the world team. Because apparently they can destroy the moon, right?
Oh, well, I mean, there's no moon to destroy now. So.
Yeah. So the team consists of Steel, Donna Troy, Beast Boy, Raven, Nightwing. It's kind of one of those things of what Nightwing, you've seen it in movies and stuff like that. I wasn't able to save this girl who I should have saved, so I have to save everybody else. It's kind of like that thing.
I mean, that's Spider-Man's entire MO, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I wasn't able to save Uncle Ben, so I gotta save everybody else in a way.
Oh look, I didn't save Gwen Stacy. I've had to make up for that now.
Yeah, exactly, stuff like that. Beast Boy, he's unable to control his powers, and he has the whole if somebody somebody does if somebody messes with him, he has to be able to concentrate, or else he turns into this big werewolf type of creature.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be the guy that relates to some of these people because they don't know how to use their powers and they'll accidentally use it and stuff like that. Like him, Raven, telepath, Donna Troy, who's muscle. She's apparently drinking tequila at 10 in the morning.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Steel, and there's I think 3 different artists on this special because
that's the worst.
But to me, it's a weird kind of I'm okay with it because I very much dug their art and they matched the characters for some reason.
Oh, that's fine then, as long as it works like that.
Because every time it changed, they went into different characters.
Yeah, at least there's a a little transition period there.
So
It's not like fucking No Justice where it just goes
yeah,
and change.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, I don't like that. Here's the transition. So like Nightwing and Raven have the same artist, I'm pretty sure, and they pretty match pretty well. Beast Boy and Donna Troy have the same artist. I actually like that artist a lot. There's something about him that I really enjoyed. And then towards the end with Steel, it was a different artist, and I definitely think like they work. It just I didn't
yeah,
like. I was like, am I going crazy? Are there three different artists on this or something? And no, there was like three different artists. There could be two because some of them look similar, but not too similar. Like they could be two different artists who just have similar styles.
yeah,
But
that's cool.
yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's like it's all right. Like some people are against um like being a part of the Justice League because it's like the Titans
Yeah,
are supposed to be kind of separate and stuff like that. But it's comics. It changes every other year. Might as well just try different stuff. I doubt it'll in a year and a half. I'm pretty sure he'll be away from the Justice League. So
more than likely.
yeah, so it's one of those things. If you don't like it, probably hop off for like a year and just come back. Like it'll go by so comics go by so fast.
Yeah, didn't they just? It's
Yeah,
kind of
so
crazy.
yeah, it's just if it's not your thing, just wait it out. Go read something else. It's cool that he's kind of like their base is in the Hall of Justice, and they're putting more emphasis in the Hall of Justice. I wish the movie would have put more emphasis on it, but they didn't. So I'm a big fan of the Hall of Justice because it means something. I feel like the Hall of Justice, like there's the Watchtower, and that's cool. But this thing on Earth and everybody seeing like it's also a museum and stuff like that. I always thought this meant something, to more than just kind of like a base. So there's that, and yeah, it's just interesting. Miss Martian's going to be in it too. I forgot about her because she was at the very end. It's like 1-2 pages, and you kind of forget about her because she's just in so quick. But I'm in. I'm in on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I like the idea of going around to help these metahumans who are learning how to get their powers, stuff like that. And like a girl accidentally used her powers and killed herself, so it's like they have to save people from that. I'm in on that kind of thing.
Sweet.
We'll see how it goes from here because it could always go very wrong.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
But that's just comics in there.
Yeah.
My first one is Infinity Countdown Dark Hawk #2. I'm not going to talk about the majority of this issue because it picks up from the last one where it's a reintroduction to the Earth Dark Hawk because obviously Dark Hawk is a part of the Raptors and they're playing a massissive part in Infinity Countdown right now. They send Deathhead to go get him, and then he has his plan, and it's like, oh, we're gonna double cross these Raptors, and then I'm gonna take him out and finish everything. But it's a nice bit of continuity as well because it goes back to the old DNA era with the whole Guardians and the age War of Kings and Realm of Kings because they get trapped in null space in there, and they've somehow got out here, and you get a bit of. I don't want to say it's a retcon because the Raptors never really had that much of a history. They're only like 10 years old. But we get a bit of a history of them. And it turns out they're a bit of a cult to essentially the opposite of what the Phoenix Force is. So instead of just having the Phoenix Force, we now have a Dark Starhawk or a Starhawk. So I don't know how that works with like... the Starhawk that was on the original Guardians, with like Elita Regord and all that lot. But yeah, they sacrificed the guy, the Dark Hawk from Earth, and they sacrificed Richard Rider's brother because you need one willing sacrifice and one forced. There's a panel here where it looks like the old Dark Hawks are essentially Hawkman because it's the exact same helmet, and they didn't even try and hide it because it just says beak over the nose. But yeah, and we just get this giant Dark Starhawk, and it's pretty fucking crazy.
I didn't get to read all of that. I need to go back and read it because we have to. I wasn't in time because I was reading it as we're about to before we started this, so I need to go back and refresh it. But it sounds dope.
It's pretty cool, and it's like this explains why Dark Hawk of all people is getting 2 tie-ins. Even though I think he's getting 3 tie-ins for Infinity Countdown, so he's going to be playing a bit of a part.
Yeah.
And it's nice that, like, you know, instead of just playing with toys in the Cosmic Sandbox of Marvel, they're actually expanding everything, you know. Instead, we haven't just got a Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force does have an opposite, and it is the Starhawk. And it looks really cool. Like, it's still got the fire to match the Phoenix, but then, like, it's all the galaxy stuff for the body, and then you got, like, gold armor. It looks really cool. So, yeah.
I'm here for all the Infinity War stuff. Everything
definitely.
about it is cool.
Definitely.
All right. Going on to my next one, it's gonna be talking about Hawkman #1. This one I thought it was alright. I think some of the stuff that interests me is stuff they introduce. And I still like the way they do their narration. It's like in this weird journal thing that you saw in Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, the black and the yellow, stuff like that. Some of the things that interest me the most about this is that, of course, Hawkman, the character who's been reincarnated so many times, he's been like I don't even know how long, but there is a family out there that he helped at one point, and because of that, like the family's legacy is to continue to help Hawkman whenever he's reborn and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think that's very cool. Like he needs to go somewhere, right? And he asks like the family, like one of the grandsons or something, who has a boat to take him there. And he's like, "Of course we're gonna help you out. You've helped my great grandfather or whatever." And I always thought that could be something interesting to Hawkman, of like somebody who knew of him and the generations keep helping him out.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting aspect to this.
So essentially, they're kind of simplifying his origin.
Oh no, no! His origin is wait.
Yeah, but aren't they like making it a bit more understandable in this issue? Like it's like here's how he actually operates, not who knows.
Let me bring this up to you. So this whole this whole series is gonna be about finding out who he is, kind of like the adventure outwards brings in the adventure inwards type of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So the whole concept that they bring in this is the fact that not only has he been reincarnated in time, like over centuries and stuff like that, he's also been reincarnated over space.
Oh Christ!
So there is a Carter Hall of Krypton, because he was reincarnated as a Kryptonian once.
Yeah.
And there's this panel similar to the Captain Marvel. I have this reality stone. I see all these different realities.
Yeah.
There's this panel that's similar, like it's not like in. It's a page, actually. It's not in different panels. It's like just a whole page and all the characters are on it. And it has all these different versions of Hawkman. Some are what he knows of, like through time, but some are in space. And so he's been reincarnated through space. So it's very weird.
So are these like existing concurrently? Or is it like there was a Kryptonian one and now he's over here?
I'm not entirely sure. They don't. To me, it seems like no. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say at one point he was just a Kryptonian like 3 million years ago or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I almost thought he was being reincarnated into different realities, and I was like, that's so crazy. But at the same time, that's kind of just reality in general. That's just different realities.
Yeah.
It's not like being reincarnated into each of them. There's just a different version of you anyways, because it's an alternate reality. But it's so weird. So I guess we're gonna kind of learn a lot of these different Carter Halls, and the thing that kind of makes me not mad, I don't know the word for it, but kind of like, here we go again, is that the whole thing about this series is that there is a world-ending thing that he has to stop, that he saw a vision of. I'm like, does the world have to end every time?
Yeah, it's the you might disagree with the word, but a bit of a fatigue.
Little. I know what you mean by that. I know what you mean by that, but not necessarily that hard core of it. Because fatigue sounds like I'm just done. Like overall, I'm just kind of like, I've seen it. Can we do it again?
Fatigue is just like shit's wearing thin.
Okay, yeah, I would say a little bit of like world end. We just had Dark Knight's Metal and No Justice back to back, which just doesn't help the fatigue, to be honest.
Yeah, and then you got Doomsday Clock, which is kind of the same thing in a different sense.
I would have been okay with the story being he has to. So the whole thing is like he has to figure out who, like the whole story, all about who he was and stuff like that. And he's just traveling around the world figuring it like a personal story. I don't think he saw a vision and he has to save the world or something. Yeah. I would have been okay with the antagonist of the story being somebody who doesn't want Carter Hall to remember everything.
Yeah.
And like always being there trying to stop him in certain moments, and you don't like, it's little teases and then eventually you see who he was and stuff like that, but I just don't know if I'm okay with like these big robots taking over the world and destroying it. Other than that, I thought it was interesting. I thought it had some stuff that was built into it that I'm okay with. And I mean, the art's okay, and I've always thought, is Hawkman does he have super strength? I feel like he doesn't.
I think he does.
But he could. He does. Yeah, because I remember the Smallville version. Doesn't have super strength at all. But I feel like that's just to ground it for Smallville.
Yeah, the Smallville version of Darkseid was crows.
It's true. So I feel like he could have super strength, which I always thought, like, if he didn't, like, his power was only just to fly, and he has a axe or something, like a spike weapon. But if he does have super strength, then that's cool. That makes him mean like he's he can battle some people. So yeah. That's kind of it. Like, I just don't know about the whole world ending stuff.
Yeah, cool. Well, my second one is the Marvel 2-in-1 annual, because we had to have an annual halfway through a series for some reason now. But this is it's kind of straightforward. It's a Doom and Thing. They're on their own little adventure. The other two, Johnny and I can't remember the doctor's name, they're off doing their thing. And essentially the entire point of this is to bring back the Council of Reeds from Jonathan Hickman's run.
Yeah.
Victor and Thing, they find that the Doctor Doom of the reality they're in. Doom and Doom have a fight, and in that he finds a dead Reed on the floor, and he's like, "Oh, this device will help me win." And it's just like, "Oh, where the hell am I?" And it's the rest of the issue is just setting up what their like the Council's new motive is. Like, before it was to fix everything and to solve the problem for everything in the multiverse, and this time it's to fix Doom. Like, Doom is always there for Reed Richards, like, obviously not there for like emotional support or anything like that, but you know, he's always there, he's always a pain in the ass. So their mission now is just to stop Doom from happening. Like, we get answers to Secret Wars, like what exactly happened between our Reed and Doom with the whole stripping the power away from Doom, and Reed fixing his face. He also wiped his memories at that point. That's kind of why he doesn't realize that they're alive and not dead. You get a nice bit of background on Doom as well, with like his dad growing up and his mother's not being around because she's died, and them having to fight for themselves and fend off everything. It doesn't really go great with Victor and the Council of Reeds, but what else can you expect, really? But yeah, if you're a fan of the Hickman Fantastic Four, then you'll be happy that the Council of Reed has come back, because it's pretty huge. It's a nice lead-in for Slot's run, because that's such an interesting idea that Rick and Morty stole. So fuck you, Rick and Morty. He's taking the best thing that Reed ever done. But yeah, so their mission is to stop all Dooms. Don't know how they're going to stop all Dooms, but their mission is, or their goal is, no more Dooms in the multiverse.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No more Dooms. Really cool.
Yeah.
No more
Even though we have this one Doom who's now really pissed off at Reed Richards because they've reformed the council. But yeah, it's kind of...
Alright.
Yeah.
Going on my next one. It's going to be Plastic Man #1. Gail Simone. It's a very hilarious issue. I very much enjoyed this issue.
I've yet to read this. I started to read and I was like, I'm too tired.
Yeah.
I've been reading all day. I don't need to go somewhere else.
Top with the Titan special, but hilarious. I don't know too much of Gail Simone's kind of quirks in her writing. There's a lot of kind of like Adult Swim type of humor. Yeah,
I think she's a very tongue-in-cheek type of writer.
Like, there's a moment, there's this moment where he has to stop this bad guy, and he's like, you know, instead of being Plastic Man, I'm gonna transform into a Wonder Woman.
Nah.
Like, that was funny. And then there's certain moments like when like an agent of Spyro has come to see him to get him to help, like, for them or something, whatever. And then he's like naked in bed, and he gets up, and there's that whole thing of like she sees him naked and stuff like that. It's very, I don't know what kind of humor you call that. But
I just called it tongue-in-cheek, to be honest.
It's Adult Swim type of stuff, and I feel like, because that's what I remember in Adult Swim.
That doesn't sound like... I haven't watched Adult Swim in years.
Well, me either, but that's kind of like, I remember them making like naked jokes and stuff like that, and Black Jesus, one of the best shows on Adult Swim that got canceled. But the thing I loved was the joke of like, she was like, oh my, and then he said, are you talking about my 6-pack? Or are you talking about my 12-pack? And he just makes a 12-pack in his stomach, because he's Plastic Man, he can do whatever. Yeah. So I thought that's pretty... And then he wears a crop top and it's a Wonder Woman, Batgirl, Supergirl, kind of like those DC girls, like heroes versions.
Yeah, yeah.
It is very tongue in cheek, and overall I had fun with this issue. Like, I think at one point he becomes a rocket, which I don't necessarily know how that works.
Well, as you said, he's plastic man. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, but I don't know how he gets fuel to fly.
He's plastic. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, which I guess is the kind of not intrigue, with the kind of the thing about this comic is like the charm. Is that he just does whatever he wants, which is just hilarious. Yeah. There's like which is so weird. There's a kid that finds him like being knocked out, like bloodied, and he's just like, "Hey, you alright?" And it's like, "Yeah." The kid's like, "Cool, keep it Wang," and he's like, "Is Wang good or bad?" It's just funny, like, and then the kid just walks away.
That explains why I keep seeing Wang on my timeline.
Yeah,
and it's always from her. It's just like, what have you done, Gail, with Wang? I don't know.
Because he just says like, "Is Wang good or bad? Does it still mean penis?" Like he's like bloodied on the floor, and he's like just making jokes. He's one of those characters that I wish they would do a live action version. I don't know if, like, how it would work out.
It would have to be a movie.
Yeah, because the budget on that for his powers it'd be too much, and you'd have to get the humor. So I don't know who gets this humor. What actor could get it? Maybe Chris Pratt, but he wouldn't be it because of course he's Star-Lord. But that kind of humor, because if you remember his Parks and Recs humor days, like
I was gonna say, the problem is Chris Pratt would be a perfect plastic man.
Yeah, because do you remember that famous clip on YouTube and they're like, everybody loves a comeback, you know, and they say this and that. He's like Kim Kardashian, and then everybody's like, what? Because she has comeback, like. That kind of humor is, I feel like, what Plastic Man could be. And
yeah, I can't think of any.
I don't know who could. Like, who has that kind of humor to do it.
I know who could do it.
Who?
Bloke who plays Schmidt.
Who's that? What's up?
New Girl.
Oh, the guy who plays Schmidt. Yeah, yeah.
He even looks like Plastic Man.
But I feel like he's such a that's a TV version of Plastic Man. I don't know if he does a lot of movies.
You could do it. I've got faith he could do it.
Yeah, it could work out. I mean, I just would love a movie of Plastic Man just because he's such a great character, and Gail Simone, I think, does justice on this. And I mean, the story is kind of like somebody is killing the people who killed him, which is a little weird. But I just think I like this character and his adventures, and I'm all for it. I'm so down. He turns into Wonder Woman. He turns into like a car. It's so weird, and I'm down for it. I'm all in, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Gail Simone's doing a pretty good job with this. I feel like I've seen a lot of people talk about it in terms of like, oh, they liked it. I don't know if I've seen a lot of. There's some people saying they're getting some versions of them wrong, but I'm like, it's comics. There's so many different versions. Like, this is Gail Simone's take on it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I very much like her take. I remember Joel is such a big fan of Gail Simone. I never knew too much of her writing because I never read too much of her stuff. But
I've never read too much of her stuff.
This could get me like wanting to read more of her stuff to see like what she's all about.
Well, she's got Domino over at Marvel, Karen.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I shorted a line. I love the humor in this. It's almost Deadpool-y, but not too R-rated, which is...
Yeah. Well, fun fact, she wrote Deadpool in the early 2000s.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think was it a one shot or was it just a short story? I can't remember. I don't think it was like an on-running series, but she's definitely only wrote for Marvel once prior to this Domino run. But my next one is Quicksilver No Surrender issue 2. I still don't really know what Ahmed is doing with this series, because this, he in No Surrender he went really fast. They gave him a power boost and he just kind of vanished into the not Speed Force, and he's now stuck in this monochromatic world where everything is frozen except for him and these bright, colorful light monsters that are going around killing everyone. So he's really having to like just constantly run, and they look like him or like a weird, twisted version of him. And they kind of start going for people and places he knows. Like he ends up going back to like Sokovia, not Sokovia. Is it Sokovia they call it in here? He goes back to like home country, like the Romani country he comes from. and like he's saving people there, and it's like, oh, this person, like they kind of dive into the character of Quicksilver and his history a little bit. So, oh, this person, when me and Wonder were kids, used to give us bread and all this. Like my father did this. He was labeled a thief just to feed his kids. Da 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 da. No, it's really good. I just have no idea where he's going with it. He does get a pet turtle in this. The turtle, like everything else, is just static and black and white, but he's called Mr. Dibbles because he came from a Cheese Dibbles box. And it ends up, he goes to like, I think Magneto's in Madripoor, and so he has to save Magneto, doesn't really want to, and then he ends up being taken to the Avengers mansion, where of course Wanda is, and there's a giant light monster Quicksilver there, who's about to take Wanda out.
Ooh.
And it's really weird. But he in the Avengers mansion, he finds out that like Synapse and Brother Voodoo are trying to get him back because for the first time he hears something, and it's just his name being shouted out over and over again. So he assumes it's them trying to bring him back, but we don't know if it's them. We don't know if it's the Light Monsters. We don't know anything what's going on in this book because that's just how Ahmed writes. But it's really good. It's better than the Exile series, which I kind of dropped off. 'Cause there was something weird about that book. I don't know if it's how he was writing it or the art or something off about that. But this is definitely more in tune to the Black Bolt style of writing for Ahmed. It's very like inner monologue. Like here's this character, here's who he is, here's what he's done. That stuff is really good.
Damn.
So,
high praise.
Yeah.
High praise.
Also, the irony that Quicksilver got a turtle for a pet because it had to be something slow.
I didn't even think about that.
So shout out to the one person on Twitter that called that, and then Med completely ignored him until the end. He's like, I bet it's a turtle. And it's just like, oh damn.
He's like, dang, I can't let him know he won.
It's like, quick, change it.
Yeah, all right. Mr. Miracle number 9. Already know. It's hard to, because I'm looking at the dates of these issues, right? They all came. So, let's see. A lot of it feels like they came out monthly, and then they came out 2 months, and then 3 months.
There has been a delay for a couple of issues. Yeah,
it's a little hard to stay in this, but other than that, like I definitely still enjoy this series and kind of the quirks about it, and the art style is beautiful.
Yep, Mitch Gerads is a very talented man.
It is a beautiful art, and kind of like it gives you the feel that you're on, where they're at.
Have you noticed though that a lot of people are kind of adopting his shading technique?
Yeah,
where he has the brush with like it's just all like the little dots, like the pointillism stuff. A lot of people are starting to do that now. And it's like,
I can see what you mean.
I see you, comic artists.
I think my favorite part has got to be kind of the whole thing of like the guy tells the story about the painter and the apprentice, and then and then it was just made up at the end.
It's like you got to have something to say to someone who's like when you're taking a piss next to him.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was, what they're doing, and I was like, oh, they're taking a piss.
It's just toilet.
I thought it was a spit, but you're right.
I mean, he spits down there, but that's just I don't know if you do it or if anyone else does it, but you go to the toilet, you just spit in the bowl.
No,
it's just a thing I do. I don't know if anyone else does.
I don't know if it's an American
thing. I assume looking at this, that it's a fairly common thing.
Yeah, probably. I don't remember doing that, but yeah.
I don't know. Don't ask me why. It's just a case of like, oh.
I don't know. I can see that it could be a quirk for like, I'm pretty sure if I watched Torchwood, I'd see that. I don't know why.
Probably not, because that's a family show.
Oh. Is Torchwood a family show?
I think it might be. I don't know.
It's
a Doctor Who spin-off.
Yeah, but it was definitely not a family show, and they had like.
I mean, it wasn't exactly like a hard show.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and then the thing that freaked me out was the mirror thing, and he's like all burned, and Big Barda's all burnt. Like, there's this very interesting concepts in this, and I mean the overall story of like the dark side wants his child and stuff like that.
Yeah, I unfortunately had that spoiled for me. Luckily, I got the person back by spoiling into Thor. It completely unintentionally.
Was it in the Discord?
Oh, we're even now. It was in the Discord. You know who the fuck you are, so don't do it.
Yeah,
anymore.
come on, Discord.
I was mad. I was so mad.
Yeah, and then I still don't know what this is. Like the bath they're taking. It's like
Fire lakes.
That's what it is. Okay.
Because they're on Apocalypse, so I assume everything's fire.
That's so
But
weird.
I like the idea of the mirror. It's like
Yeah, me too.
it's like this is you actually look like this. You don't, but this is what you are.
Yeah.
Or what you think.
So, cause especially since the whole fire thing, like they just look, yeah. Oh, it freaks me out a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, the concepts were great, kind of everything around this, and just the whole idea that Darkseid wants the baby, and like that's the true son of Darkseid or whatever. And you know, I didn't even notice this till like halfway in, but the table is being held up not by legs, but by people.
By people. Yeah.
I was like, oh god, I didn't notice it.
What's his face? Literally just picks one of them out, and then the table's constantly slumped on his end.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
It's just like, oh, he died. Oh, that's sad. Yeah. I really like this issue. It's really fun.
Yeah, same.
Even though like Darkseid, he can't get lump.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say other than I mean, it's enjoyable. The art is great. The concepts are great. So yeah.
But anyway, moving on. My next one is Venom issue number 2, of course, by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. And if you're not following it, you should, because it is better than Watchmen. Of course, if you don't know that joke, then I apologize. But yeah, you know, carrying on from last issue, Eddie Brock is dead. He has a massive hole in his stomach, and the opening few pages are fantastic because I can't remember the military guy's name who's going to be in the Venom event, who's in this as well, but he's kind of giving like a monologue about who Eddie Brock is and like how he's always come back. He's a child of rebirth and death, and he comes back, he gets made and unmade, etc., etc. All while the Venom symbiote is just putting him back together piece by piece. And you see him fix his ribs, you see him fix his arteries, you see him like bring his blood cells back together, and then squeeze his heart to get that thing pumping. And we kind of learn what the thing at the end of the last issue was. It is a giant symbiote wyvern, and it just attacks the city. And I think
I haven't caught up with this one, so I've only read the first one.
With this one.
I've only read the first one.
It's really good. But,
What's Kate's?
Oh yes, it's Kate's and Stegman, as I said.
Yeah.
But I think what it is the giant symbiote winged wyvern dragon thingy was the original symbiote that Venom's come from.
That's cool.
And that's why it's like devouring other symbiotes. And this was the symbiote that was attached to the military guy who I could not remember his name of again. So I imagine the Venom thing is going to be, obviously it's going to be the Vietnam team and this big winged dragon thing.
I'm so here for Donny Cates making the original symbiote a big winged dragon.
It's crazy. And like,
I gotta look it up. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I haven't seen it yet.
There's a massive splash page, like double page spread of it in New York. It is nuts.
I'm gonna skim it real quick.
So good. Like Stegman's really upped himself. He's nowhere near as good as he was on like the Scarlet Spider run he did with Kane, but he's like actually like refined his new current style, and it works so well.
Oh man, what?
It's pretty nuts. But yeah, and of course Eddie has to go to this thing. He's got to try and stop it because he's got the symbiote and all that stuff. And at the end, Miles appears.
Yeah, I just saw
at
that.
The end. I don't know if he's kicking Eddie Brock in the back of the head,
or he's like, "I'm here to save the day."
Yeah, I don't really know how exactly what's the situation is
It
here.
does look like he's gonna kick him in the back of the head.
So I assume he's gonna kick him in the back of the head. No, just it's comics. The two good guys meet and they fight.
Can we agree that this is probably gonna be one of the best Venom stories ever?
I mean, it's better than Watchmen.
Does that go too far?
Did you see what some comic shops were doing?
What?
They were legitimately saying, you bring in anything Watchmen to trade in for Venom number 2, you get it for free.
Wow, really? Why?
Yeah.
Why is that a thing?
Just to go with the joke with what Ryan Stegman and Donny Cates have been saying.
Oh, is that what they've been saying, that Venom's better than Watchmen?
Yeah, their whole joke is it's better than Watchmen.
Oh, I thought you were saying it as like for real, and I was like, oh, if it's the whole joke that they're going around, then it's like almost like a marketing technique too. I'm down with that.
I mean, you look at Ryan Stegman's Twitter, that is 90% of it.
I feel like that's something me and you would do, or you per se. And I'd be like, I don't know if we should do it, and then 5 minutes later, I'm in on it.
Yeah, yeah, it's very similar.
That's
but
so
no,
cool.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's better than Watchmen. And like Donny Cates sees his tweet that this comic shop is taking old copies of Watchmen. He's like, this is fucking like we might have gone too far. Don't actually trade in Watchmen for Venom. And I think some people did. There was like legitimately people taking in their old issues.
Stegman's art reminds me like I'm watching like a TV show for some reason.
Yeah, the colorist in this was very much. But it gives it that aesthetic of like.
But it's also the natural movements of how he's drawing the characters. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it just reminds me like it's kind of like I'm just watching short. It's everything about it so good. I love the aspect of like, hey, we're in the past. We're gonna make it lightly colored or like different colored. You know.
Yeah, it's got that fade on it.
Yeah.
It looks really nice.
But then it fades from like the old to the modern, and then you get the whole dragon thing, or what do you call it? A wyvern?
I called it a wyvern because to me, I don't think wyverns have front legs. And I think that's the separation.
I don't know why I thought that was a Pokemon.
Noivern is a Pokemon.
That's what it is.
But that's called Noivern because it's noisy and it's a wyvern.
Yeah, you're right. There it is. I'm looking up wyverns because I don't remember what they actually look like.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
That's how I always.
But he doesn't look like he has he looks like he has a dog face for some reason.
I mean, yeah.
That's the only difference. Yeah. Other than that, it looks exactly like a wyvern. You're right.
Okay, a wyvern, for those that don't know, is a winged two-legged dragon with a barbed tail. Now, he doesn't have a barbed tail.
But he could grow one.
I was going to say, it's a symbiote. He could very well have one.
Yeah.
For all I know, the way he's drawn the end of that tail is a barb. So I'm going to stick with calling it a wyvern because I think it sounds cool.
It just reminds me like a movie for some reason of like the creatures destroying the city. He's like, I gotta go save the day.
Yeah.
And he's like on the edge of the roof.
It's all moody. He's on the rooftop.
I very much like how they're what's the right word for kind of positioning this book, and how like Venom and how he is like I don't know. I just nobody thought like, wow, I'm so into a Venom book. Like I'm sure they're Venom fans, but like
I say the Venom fans love Venom. Like maybe not the Lee Pace stuff. Yeah. Was it Lee Pace, the new guy they brought in? Maybe not that stuff. Yeah. Like for the most part, Venom fans love the Venom books.
See, I've always liked inserting like cartoons and stuff like that with Venom and stuff like that, but I've never been the biggest Venom fan. I always thought it looked cool, but
that's all that Venom is, at least to me anyway. He's like Ghost Rider. He's a cool design.
Yeah, but this is this is just on another level.
It's something special. Like they're actually doing.
We need to add Stegman on Twitter and be like, is Miles Morales kicking Venom in the back, or is he coming here to help?
I might actually do that. It's like, what is going on?
I just want to know.
And I'll probably get some snarky answer.
Yeah.
That's just Stegman.
That's funny.
I mean, he's replied to me once before.
Best friends.
I felt bad. Yeah, best friend.
I need to at Jeff Jones and be like, hey Jeff, when's your website being updated? I hope he doesn't block me.
Blocked.
It's just like
That's a good way to get blocked.
I'm on Jeff Jones' website watch. That's just my thing. So all right, is that it?
That's it for you. That one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My next one is gonna be Man of Steel #3. So this one, I feel like I'm leaning a little bit off more than when I initially started, and maybe that's just.
What do you mean, lean off more?
Like, I mean, there's certain moments I like in this book, but I think they really don't tell you much in this book. You have to read the DC kind of magazine, because apparently he did kill all the Krypton.
Oh, what, the DC Nation Zero?
Yeah, because they tell you more about it, and because I remember going back and forth of like, did he kill Krypton? Who knows? Maybe it's just a story. He thought he did, but he actually did kill Krypton, and he's come here to kill Superman as the last Kryptonian because he hated Kryptonians because they're a flawed race or something.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of gathered that from like the Man of Steel Action Comics 1000 than this issue. Yeah. It's like, yeah, he wanted to have killed everything.
Yeah. But I mean, I definitely what's the moment? There's a moment where like he only has seconds to think, and he's like thinking everything in like matter of seconds. Also, I don't know if I like Batman saying I'm Batman. Like that's such a.
I mean, if you think you're writing DC for the first time,
This is my first time going to
like
Batman.
how often can you really get that chance? It's Bendis' humor.
Yeah.
If it's let's be self-aware about it. It
I
also doesn't help. You can't write "I am Batman" and without hearing like the "I am Batman."
yeah.
You can't help but hear that now, so it automatically like changes the
That might be
context.
it. That might be it. Maybe like in a different world, it wouldn't be as weird, but the whole Batman thing makes
Yeah.
it weird now because like that's just shtick, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like okay, so I guess the whole thing is like he came here to kill Superman. He's gonna kill Supergirl to the last Kryptonian, and I guess the whole arsonist thing is to make him distracted.
This is what I don't get is Rogol Zar doing the arson?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Or is this something completely separate? Because that, like the way they talk about at the end, where like his entrance and he wanted Superman in the city so everyone can see, and yada 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 yada. It's kind of like, well, that doesn't really match up.
I don't. How do you?
I suppose it
Did
kind
you
of
read
does,
it?
but yeah, I'm quite.
I don't know. Like I think I was more hyped about it in the beginning, and it's kind of just been like, all right, it's been brought down to earth. Like it's just all right. It's nothing special. I feel like.
I mean, this is Bendis.
Yeah,
It's still very much a Bendis book.
I thought it would feel special for some reason.
It's because they hyped it up so much.
Yeah, that's probably why.
That's literally all it is. But you know, I'm enjoying it. It is very much a Bendis book. It's just like, and it is a mini series. It's like we're more than halfway through it now. Like, let's get to the point.
I think the fourth issue is going to be very telling because this is like the fight.
Well,
The first.
The fifth issue will be the telling stuff.
Oh, you're
The
right.
fourth issue will all be a fight.
Yeah, you're right, man. Yeah.
You know, because we'll finally catch up to Action Comics 1000. Because you know that's literally the next panel.
I think the thing I will give credit is this thing Bendis is doing with Superman and kind of like the inner monologue of like he feels guilty for everything. Feels like
Yeah.
And I did love the moment where he knew every name in Kandor. That was great.
Yeah, that was a really good moment.
That was the best moment.
It's kind of sucky that Candle's gone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to get to Superman, get Candle.
And also, they're still bringing up this whole thing of like who was in the ship.
Well, it was obviously Rogol, wasn't it?
Is it because it doesn't look like him too much?
No, that was right. Well, the ship as in the fortress.
No, the ship in the Clark. Get behind me, Lois. Dad, what is that? There's like a person in it that's dark. Like you don't see who they are.
Oh, you mean the thing from the cliffhanger from last issue?
Yeah, it's in this issue.
I don't know what the fuck that thing is.
Yeah, that's the one. I think that's the one that's confusing me the most.
I don't know if that's a ship. I don't know if it's a bomb. What is
It
it?
looked like a ship because there's somebody in it.
It didn't look like someone in it. To me, it looked like a face. Like the entire thing looked like a face.
Oh, you're right. Could be.
So I don't know what that is. That's another Bendis thing. It's like, well, what is this thing? It's like, oh, well, you'll find out later. It's like, well, can we find out what it is now?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Can you actually explain what this thing is? Like, I can't care about this thing if I don't know what it is. Like, is it Rogol Zar? Is it not? Why did Rogol Zar not steal Lobo's space bike?
It's true. It's very true.
Rogol Zar have a space bike. But no, I like the whole like the little Guardian and the little Galactic Roundtable conversation they had in this. It's like, oh, you know, look, like you could fuck us up.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna say anything because you'll get fucked as well. Yeah. It's just as much your fault as it is mine at this point. Yeah. Now, there's things I like what Bendis is doing, and there's some things where it's like, yep, that's a Bendis book.
I agree. I mean, I don't know. Just some parts confuse me, and I'm like, overall, it's like Batman is kind of weird. He talks weird. The people, everybody's just talking weird.
I mean, that's Bendis speak.
Yeah.
Like Superman will sound like Superman. Like Batman doesn't because it's Bendis. He can't write more than one character. Yeah. You know, like the way he writes Superman is very like Ultimate Spider-Man-y as well.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Very much like, you know, you had a constant inner monologue with Spider-Man. And it's the same here.
I mean, it's good. It's still good. It's just it was overhyped, I think.
Oh yeah.
But
here's the thing: the people that love Bendis will fucking love this.
Yeah.
This is like prime Bendis bait, really.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we want to sell a lot. Let's give Bendis push the Bendis button. But no, it's I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
It's fun.
cool.
I just want to know how this is gonna end. But then again, is that kind of no? Can I really say it's not that great if I just want to know that? No, I've got to be enjoying it to some extent. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You can go to your last one.
my last one, the one I'd imagine everyone's been waiting for, and that I imagine is going to sell the most this month because people have been crying about this for years. Odin's son is now Thor again, so Thor is back. He's a man. He has no boobs. He's got a penis. He hasn't got a vagina. If that doesn't offend you, then that's all good. But and it literally picks up from like where the Jane Foster run ended. And like Asgard, got destroyed in that explosion. Like the artifacts just went everywhere, hurling across space. I will say not time, so I can't say that. And we pick up literally. He's on Earth. He's in Thailand, and he's got the Warlock Eye, and he's running away from like all these people. And they turn out to be like the Church of Cyttorak. And of course, if you know who Cyttorak is, you know what that means, and that is the Juggernaut. And the Juggernaut in this like little churchy, culty area is like 10 times stronger. It's just like, fuck. And of course, Thor hasn't got his hammer. He is Mjolnirless. And he gets his shit pushed in 5 ways to Sunday in this fight. And he gets a hammer from the dwarves. The hammer instantly breaks. There's a really cool scene where about 10,000 hammers just fall from the sky. And he goes through all of them. And the dwarves aren't happy. It's like, we spent so long making that. It's like, yeah, well, they got to be better.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of little input. Like, you know, they're rebuilding the Rainbow Bridge because Asgard and Thor need that to get to places. They got to protect all the other 9 realms. You get to see where Odin is. You get to see where Frigga is. You get to see where all the refugees of Asgard are. They're like living in in the little hostile place. I think it's the Bronx they're in. Yeah, in the Bronx. You get a little bit of Jane. You get a little funny bit with her. You see that Volstagg alive. Frigga's looking after him, and Thor's living in a little houseboat on the harbour. And of course, Loki appears there, and it all kickstarts everything. And you end up going to, I think it's Niflheim. Is Niflheim hell?
Niflheim. I don't know. Look it up.
It's wherever Hela's from. I'm pretty certain it's Niflheim. But of course, Hela's not. She's around, but she's somewhere else. And Balder the Brave is the king of Niflheim at the minute, and they're there to stop the war. And there's Scourge, and him and Balder are on a massive monster truck because I don't know why. I don't know how they got there. You also get a bonus bit at the end with the Christian Ward art.
Hey, it's so good.
It is so good, and it's the last. It's a nice little story actually. Could it go? There's a shark previously in the issue, so it's a nice little tie round. But it's the last space shark, and then they go off. They turn into vegetarian. Jane Foster apparently dies again. I think he said he made her out of clay.
Like when you're thinking of space, I don't know if you're thinking of space sharks. That's so cool.
It's been a staple of Jason Aaron's run.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I haven't read too much of Jason Aaron's run, so I don't know too much. But space sharks,
you really
cool.
should.
Yeah,
you should.
I need to go back.
Trades,
the trades, right?
Trades, yeah. It's a nice little continuation as well because there's tons of space sharks at the start of his run. Now there's only one, and that one's now a vegetarian.
40 pages this issue.
Yeah, it's $5.99 as well. So.
Whoa, that ending.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ending's nuts.
Whoa,
who'd have thought that? But of course, the ending, Thor goes out into space because the universe is dying, and he hears a voice out in the blackness and the coldness and the dead of the universe.
Is it God? No.
Well, I mean, it's a God. It's the Phoenix, because the Phoenix, of course, is always there, but it's not the Phoenix you think you know. It is Wolverine as the Phoenix.
I just love how he says, "Hey, bub, welcome to the end of time. Hope you brought some beer." That's almost Donny Cates-ish.
See, the Discord has had a conversation about this. Where they said they think Jason Aaron's taken a leaf out of Donny Cates book. I'd say it's Donny Cates giving Jason Aaron the idea.
Maybe like they were just having like some coffee or lunch or something, and here, Jason, I just have this thing in my head. Jason Aaron's like, so yeah, I'm writing Thor, and I think the Phoenix is gonna be in, but trying to figure out what to do with it. Why don't you make it Wolverine? Good idea.
Yeah. It's 100% a Cates idea. Like just the way it's presented as well.
I love that, like, in a matter of a year, Donny Cates-ish, or it's Cates-ish, is a thing because of how Donny Cates is just, like, taking over, like, comics in a way where, like, anything crazy out of nowhere, left field, and kind of makes sense and is very cool, it's just Donny Cates now, in a way.
Yeah. If you got a cool idea, do it. It's Donny Cates.
It's so weird how that happened. I feel so glad that, remember we're just reading God's Country, and then out of nowhere, like, he's Marvel, and now he's like Thanos and from Venom. It's like, man, what a year! What a year!
Has anyone else had that trajectory?
Has anybody else had a run like Cates has, where it's went from Thanos, Venom, and then
I think maybe Bendis.
But
maybe Bendis.
Because this is I don't even know if we're in prime Donny Cates, are we? I feel like this might be actually. This might be at the start of his prime. I'm talking in like. Yeah, I'm talking like sports reference.
I mean, that's not a sports reference. In your prime is just a general.
Well, I'm talking because in its for sports at least, when you start get into a league, you're the young. You don't get into your prime till like a couple years after, which for Cates would be like the indie stuff, the image stuff. That's like getting into the league, and then this Marvel stuff, he's at his prime.
I mean, yeah, that's how it works everywhere. You get into your 20s, you're in your prime.
Yeah, they always say 28 is like the prime or something like that, like 26 to 30 for some reason. But dude, I'm so here for the Donny Cates era of Marvel.
Yep.
This is a thing, man. It's crazy, and I'm with the Discord. I'm with you actually that like he just took the idea. Or not took the idea, but Donny Cates was like, hey, here's an idea. Not that Jason Aaron was like, oh, hey, Donny Cates is doing crazy stuff. I can do crazy stuff too. Like, I'm sure it was like a shared thing, because comics is a shared thing.
Yeah. And not to say like Jason Aaron couldn't think of something like this. Yeah. It just feels like Donny Cates just came in and went, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Wolverine as the Phoenix. It's almost like Punisher as the Ghost Rider. It's like, what?
You know, maybe we'll get a Logan Phoenix 5-issue miniseries.
This is what I'm here for, because this is the kind of stuff like that reminds me as a kid when you just put stuff together with toys.
Yeah, it's very much that same mentality.
It's the sandbox, and it's kind of like it's weird that we haven't gotten. I'm sure there's been stuff like this that's crazy, but this is a different type of crazy, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's very safe, like really like safe, cool ideas.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, this is a cool idea. It's nice and safe. Let's do that. This is like, no, fuck it. Who cares? Just do it. No, people respond to it, so why not? It keeps things fresh.
Just imagine, like, I feel like the net something like just before we end off this thing, because I'm pretty sure unless you have any other thoughts.
No, I'm really hungry, so.
Okay, well, as we end this off, can you give off one crazy idea like this? Wolverine is a Phoenix.
One crazy. If I could give up crazy ideas like this, I'd be getting paid for it.
No, but just one. You don't have one. Like, who's two characters you'd want to mix and match?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of one. That's too much of an on the spot thing.
Why not? Why not Iron Man and Venom, the symbiote? Like,
nah, it's been done.
Is it? Has it?
Yeah, Venomized.
Oh, never mind. I never saw that.
God, who would you put together?
Just like random, but also would be super cool.
How like no? Because you got to top yourself. Like, how can you top Logan and the Phoenix?
Logan and the Phoenix. You'd have to think about it in a way, because it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Who would get the Thor hammer? Well, I mean, Silver Surfer already got the Thor hammer, so.
Yeah. You know, you can't even say, "Oh, give Thanos a symbiote." You had that in Venomized as well.
Yeah, well, that's You can't do anything with the symbiote because they didn't Venomize.
Yeah. You can't even say make Galactus a life bringer because
he was already.
All the crazy cool ideas are gone.
I don't know. All the crazy ideas will be in Discord.
That's a really loaded question.
Yeah, it's almost like are the robots real in Westworld?
Yeah, well, I mean, what is life? What's a cool idea? What is life? Same question. But yeah, I think that'll bring us to the end of this
Yeah,
show. We've gone on for far too long.
yeah.
But yeah, until next time.
Toodles.